welcome back, everybody, to the Nosebleeds podcast. I'm Chris Witt, and with me, as always, is Mr. Adam Schmidt. Adam, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. We got word today. I don't know if he did it on purpose, but Mr. Joey Votto, while the Reds are in Toronto,
Mm,
announces his retirement.
yeah. Yep. Ha- He announced it how most people are doing it these days on Instagram.
Is that what he did?
Yeah.
Did he do like a video or something funny? I
He
didn't
wrote
see
it.
it.
Yeah, no, he like wrote a bunch
Oh,
of
I gotcha.
words, and then his video was just him saying, "Yep, I'm done. Officially retired from baseball." And that was it.
That
And
was it.
then there's like a whole thing he
Oh,
wrote. Yeah. Yeah.
man.
So yeah, it was yeah. I got out of the gym and he had posted it like 30 minutes before that. And I was like, "Oh wow, that's crazy." Because I started before I heard what he was saying in the video. I read what he was saying. So you get a sentence in, you can kind of tell like,
You
"Oh,
already know what's going on. Yeah.
yeah,
So career 294 hitter. That's
mhm,
very impressive.
very good." Yeah.
Let's see here. 2000 over 2000 hits,
Mhm.
scored over 1,000 runs. Let's see. Where's I guess if I would have done this to start with, I could have done a better job.
Yeah.
Won a gold glove, an MVP, 6-time All-Star. 350 home runs. That's a pretty decent
That's
number.
a good number.
Yep. 450 doubles. Let's see what. Oh, RBIs, 1,100 RBIs. Like
Okay.
he's got all the stats. His on base percentage was 409.
That's big.
That's huge. He led the league in on base percentage. One, two, three, 4 straight years. 5, 6, 7 out of 10 years
Wow.
in on base percentage.
Yeah.
That is incredible. Yeah, OPS at 9.2. That's a career OPS at 0.92. Man, that's insane.
Yeah.
Led the league in walks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different times.
Hmm.
Had over 100 walks 7 different times. And this is a guy that was plagued by injury at the end of his career.
Yeah.
So incredible. The numbers are insane. If you take his career, so if you take his averages
Hmm.
for 162 game average, like take his stats and then divide it out by 162 games, he would average 30, well, where's it at? Sorry. 28 home runs, 36 doubles, 168 hits, 92 runs scored, 90 RBIs, 108 walks.
Wow.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just congratulations to Mr. Votto. I guess it's congratulations.
Mhm.
This feels a lot like I don't have anywhere else to go, so I'm retiring. But that's how most people retire anyway.
He was really struggling
Yeah.
in the minor leagues. Yeah, and he because that was one of the things he said in the post that he wrote was he said something like, "I'm just not good anymore" or
Yeah.
something like that,
Hmm.
And he said it's time and but it was he the other thing one of the things he said that probably the thing that stuck out the most to me was he said I only played for Cincinnati
Yeah.
and and that's a little bit hard for me to of course
He played a professional season or part of a professional season
in the Toronto
in
organization.
in the Toronto organization, but he never played for the Blue Jays.
Right.
The only professional baseball team that he ever played, the only major league baseball team he ever played for was the Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah.
I in Votto, I know what Votto is doing there. That is a Hall of Fame kind of a thing, right? It's like, hey, don't forget, I only played for one team. I did all
Oh
this
yeah.
for one team.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
that's a big thing. People talk about that still to this day. There's not a lot of people out there that only play for one team. And when you do that, that gives you that little bit of there's a little something about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody likes that, especially me, except for it's tarnished a little bit. Like, can you really say? I mean, you have to be really. I feel like you have to be really specific. The only team I played for
The only
at the
major league,
major
the
league
only
level.
major league baseball team I ever played for was the Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah. But even saying it that way, that makes it sound like I didn't play baseball anywhere else.
It's just telling you the only Major League Baseball team I ever played for was the Cincinnati Reds.
I feel like
I did play some minor league ball in the Blue Jays organization at the end of my
I
career.
tried my best to play for the Blue Jays at the end.
I did have a Blue Jays uniform on during spring training.
I hit a home run for the Blue Jays in spring training.
Yep.
So anyway, yeah, that's just a little bit of a weird thing, but
Yeah, it is what it is.
it-
I'm really happy. Do you think he's going to go to the Hall of Fame?
it's hard to. I mean, probably it definitely won't be a first ballot thing.
No, I don't think he's a first ballot guy.
Yeah. He might be one of those guys that takes
4 or 5 years.
yeah.
What are they
close
on
to-
for? 10 years before they come off?
Yeah,
it
that
more
might
than
be
that?
it. I think it can't be more than. I don't think it's more than 10. But
And
yeah,
then you go to the old timers.
yeah. I don't know if I ever or I've forgotten how all that works.
Yeah.
You got to
I
have
looked it all up before.
different kind of votes and stuff. But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, he'll definitely get votes. He'll get probably a decent amount of votes
Mhm.
right away. But yeah, I think it's going to take him.
He'll get enough votes to stay on the ballot for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. He'll get enough votes to stay on the ballot.
I forget what it is.
27%
Is
or
that-
something.
yeah.
It's not that high to continue to be on the ballot.
Yeah.
It's not that high. And I mean, you get to pick 6 people or 5,
10, I
6. Is
think.
it 10?
You can pick 10.
Yeah, he's gonna get some. He'll get some votes.
Yeah.
For the people that do get votes and stay on for a couple years, Votto will be on there.
Yep.
So
Yeah. Hopefully, it'd be nice to see another red get in there for sure.
yeah, it'd be so nice. I think I would go to Votto's.
Think so? Yeah.
My son, huge Joey Votto
I
fan.
feel like we may have talked about that.
Yeah, I feel like I would go to a Votto. I feel like that would be one that I would definitely try to make myself get to,
Mhm.
because that's I don't know that there's another professional baseball player out there anymore that I can wear their jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always said
Yeah.
I'll never wear a jersey of somebody that's younger than me, but
That's
I'm going to tell you right now, I'm close to getting an Ellie jersey.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
this guy is electric. Like, he came in the league last year, was electric. Did you hear what happened today?
He became a
60-20?
member of the 20. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
60 stolen bases, 20 home runs. There are 5 Major League Baseball players since 1901 to have done that. 3 of them
Did hear that.
were Cincinnati Reds.
Wow.
Ellie
Wow.
De La Cruz, Joe Morgan, Eric Davis.
Oh man. My man, ED.
So Ricky Henderson was one. I can't even remember the others. They're all Hall of Fame,
Could it be Willie Mays?
borderline guys. I don't know.
Yeah. Yes.
60 stolen bases is a lot.
I was
of
gonna
stolen
say.
bases, and we still got like 20 games to go.
I was gonna say. As soon as I heard that today, I was like, well, what if he gets 30? 30 home runs.
He could.
Be 30-60 or maybe 30-70, and there's one player that's ever done 30-60, and
Who is
he
it?
got 40-70.
Oh, is it A-Rod?
It's
Oh, 40-70. 47. Oh, is that Ricky? No, Ricky never
Mhm.
hit 40. Morgan hit 40 home runs?
you're doing what I was doing.
Oh, Eric Davis.
No, it's got to be an older guy, right?
Oh,
Well-
somebody new? Who is it?
Ronald Acuna Jr.
Oh, wow.
Had to be
Yeah.
last year. 2 years ago.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, I do remember that, because I think it was last year. It was
I think
last year was
so.
the first year of the big bases, wasn't it? Or was that 2 years ago?
Last year, I think.
Yeah, and that's when everybody started stealing again. And Acuna
Mhm.
was that first dude that was like, give me an extra quarter inch. I got thrown out by a quarter inch 4 or 5 times this year. I'm in. Let's go.
Yeah. 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 It's incredible names to be, in the same sentence with, and in the same record,
Mm-hmm.
on the same record with.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, very cool. Very cool. But yeah, congratulations to Ellie De La Cruz. Congratulations to
Awesome,
Joey
man.
Votto.
And then so after that, so he steals second. Is that what got it to him? Is that what he got there with? Was steal second? So anyway, this is the first time I've seen this play happen. I have not seen this since the new rule. They tried to pick him off 3 times,
Oh,
and he was safe all 3 times, and he got second base.
wow.
The count 1-0. The count was 1-0. He threw one pitch to the batter, tried to pick Ellie off. And I'm not gonna lie to you, this dude had a mean pickoff.
I was gonna say
He almost got him on the last two.
you have to feel
Almost
like
got
you
him.
got a really good chance.
It was 1-0, and they're like, well, that's his second attempt. Ellie's got a bigger lead, and he's jumping up and down right now. And then he tried to pick him off and almost got him.
Yeah.
It was close. So he steals second. Oh no, I think he ended up, no, he got the third on a wild pitch. Either way, it might have been that stupid steal that got him to 60. So he's on third base, and it's a hard ground ball to third. And it's the weird thing is they kind of showed him getting his lead, and he took like a 7-step walking lead. It was huge. Now the pitcher was a lefty, right? So
he's got to turn all the way
he's
around.
got to turn all the way around. So he's getting this walking lead, and it's a hard hit ground ball to third, and grabs it, throws it home immediately, and he's safe. It is unbelievable.
That's crazy.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Took off. That's the one thing that happens where and he was playing in, like they're going to go get him. He knew they were coming to get him. And the second that ball was hit, he was gone and beat it. Unreal. The dude is electric, and he's just getting better and better and better. That's the coolest part about it. Very excited, and I just can't wait till they put him in center field. It's gonna be so great.
Yeah.
Or left field or right field. I don't care, but I
Sure.
can't wait till he gets to be in the outfield.
Yep.
I can't wait.
Yep. Yeah, I think you're not alone there.
He's fielding the ball a little bit better than he was, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, or keep him at short and make him get better. I mean,
Yeah, that's fine too. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it.
Yep. He can cover a whole lot of ground in the outfield, though.
Good God. I just want to know if can he not get a jump on a ball? It doesn't matter because he's so fast. He could get a late break and be the best outfielder in baseball.
Yeah, we've had people like that before. I mean, Drew Stubbs, Ryan Friel, we had some speedy guys out there before.
Billy Hamilton.
I
can't believe you didn't say Billy Hamilton. I'm sitting here waiting. Like, did you take Billy Hamilton out of your vocabulary?
What's funny is I thought about Billy Hamilton when you talked about Ellie scoring the run on the ground ball to third.
Yeah,
I thought that's a Billy Hamilton
thing. Yep, just gone. See ya.
And then that quickly I forgot him.
Yep. As did the rest of the Reds fans. So Adam, what you got going on these days, man? Anything good?
Man, I have so many stories, things that have happened in the last week.
Crazy week, huh?
It's a crazy week. Where do I even? So let's go to last Friday. Okay. And Fridays I work from home, and I almost every Friday I'll go down the street to the bakery.
Yeah. Okay? Yeah. What do you got? Regina down the street?
Got Regina down the street. And so I will do that. I'll either go, if I get up early enough, I'll run over there before I start work, or I will have my first couple meetings. We got a couple short meetings first thing in the morning. Those are over by 8:45. Take a quick break, run down the street, grab a donut, and buy a donut. I mean 3.
Yes.
And then come back. It takes me less than 15 minutes, and that's the only break I take all day anyway. So I'm like,
good to go.
No problem. So I go and do that Friday. Okay.
Do you, real quick?
Yeah.
Do you eat all 3 donuts as soon as you get home, or do you eat
one,
wait, eat one, wait? Yeah. I'm going to tell you that I'll buy donuts sometimes in the morning, and I'll be like, I just want to get one of these Boston creams. You know what? I'm going to get one of the cinnamon twists, a Boston cream, and I'm going to get the chocolate covered glazed, but I'm not going to eat the chocolate covered glazed until later.
Right.
We'll see. And within 8 minutes in my car, probably less than that, all of them are
all gone. All gone. Every single week, it's the same thing for me too. For a while, I was like, I'm getting one donut this time. One donut. It's a zillion calories. It's more than I need.
How could you possibly just eat one donut?
Thank you. And so many times for a little while, I would get a few times. I would get 2. Planning on getting 1, I get 2.
Yep.
And then I'm like, who am I kidding? I'll never only get one donut.
Yep.
So I go in there, I'm like,
might
I'm
get
gonna
two.
get, yeah, and I do the exact, it's the same verb, it's the same language every single time I go in there. Yeah, I'm gonna get a couple donuts. Okay, how many are you getting? Two or three. How many are you getting? I'm gonna get three donuts. So they know whether to put in a box or a bag.
Yep. Yep.
So and I get, there's maybe three or four different donuts that I get. I get the same
Yes.
selection each time.
Yep. Same way.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm driving. I'm getting ready to pull into the parking lot. There's a person walking on the sidewalk in
All right.
front of the parking lot, right? And this gal, and don't really pay too much attention, but she's walking in front of the car. So I'm in the street waiting for her to cross so I can turn in and get out of the way of the traffic. And she like slows down, looks back and realizes I'm waiting on her, slows down even more, and is kind of like just barely gets out of the way. And as I'm pulling in, she's like trying to stop me.
Okay.
I'm like, oh boy, what's happening here? So she like trying to stop. So I roll down my window a little bit and she's like, and I'm like, get out of my way so I can get in here. And she starts trying to talk to me about something. And I'm like, hold on. I pull into a parking space.
Jeez.
Yep. And she comes up to me. I'm getting out of the car.
Told her to hold on.
Well, she was like trying to,
You didn't have a choice.
I didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
She's like, can you give me a ride? Can you please give me a ride? I just need to, where are you going? Which way? I just need to, can you give me a ride down the street? And I'm like, I, um, I, I gotta, I'm just go running in here. I'm in a hurry. I'm supposed to be at work right now. And she's like, oh, these guys dropped me off and I was drunk in the middle of the street. And that's what she said. She said something like that. And I'm like, huh? And I'm like, I don't. She's like, please, I think she said I'll give you $10 or something like that. And I said, well, you can get an Uber for cheaper than that. Probably not the case, but
Whatever. Yeah.
yeah. And she's like, she goes, what's the number for Uber? And
Tell me you gave her one, did you?
no,
Oh, I'd have been 1-800-44 Uber.
no, but here's the thing. I said, it's an app on your phone. Well, what's the number? No, it's an app. You use your phone. It's an app. You download the app on your phone. Would they know the phone number in there? Talking about the bakery.
Nope. There's no phone number, sweetie.
Once again, if you have a smartphone, you can download the app and you just bring it up on there and they come get you. Oh, okay. And so she like I think she may have even said something else about going in there to get the number or something. So, but she just keeps walking. She walks through the parking lot and just keeps on. She walks onto the into the horizon and is gone forever. But I'm like,
Greatest thing to ever happen.
all I wanted was 3 or 4 or 5 donuts, and I have to come here and deal with this.
That's what you have to deal with on the west in Westwood, bud.
It's yeah,
It's
it
rough.
was Cheviot, but
It's
yeah,
Cheviot.
yeah,
Well, there you go.
right there. I mean,
It's
same
all
thing.
the same thing. That is, and it's not like we don't deal with it all over here. It's everywhere. But I say over here like I'm so far away. No, but so she said somebody dropped her off. Some guys,
Some
and she
guys
was drunk.
dropped her off and she was walking in the street drunk. I don't know what that means. I don't know when that means. This is 7:45 in the morning on Friday.
Yeah,
She's doing the walk of shame to wherever she's going. It sounds
yeah.
like. And boy, was she rough too. So I don't know what those fellas look like, but uh boy, yeah, she
All she had was $10. All she got was $10 out of that night, huh?
I she doesn't look like she could charge much more, to be honest with you. But anyway, that's not nice at all. But boy, she was having a rough go of it, really.
That
And she-
reminds me of. Did you ever watch? Do you remember? There was a show on. I want to say it was like Discovery or ID or something, and it was they like followed women cops. was like,
Yes.
and they did the one in Cincinnati.
Yes.
And my buddy BT, his dad was in it. Like his dad
Oh
worked.
yeah, yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, his so BT worked in the this headphone jack is so screwed up.
Oh,
Uh
yours now. Yeah, I
oh,
just completely
it's the
gave
whole
up on
thing.
mine.
There's no reason to even have it. Uh except that it helps me to hear the volumes if I need to change something.
Yeah. Yeah, you really just need to like hear it at first and then you don't have to mess with it after that.
Yeah, I guess you probably.
Once we're
Anyway,
once we're
oh,
in.
there it is.
Oh, hey.
That was loud. Anyway, so BT was in it. So BT would do these things where he would like he had this old nasty white van. Like it didn't have seats in the back, but that was his, his work van.
Mhm.
So one of the things they had on video was he was the John and he went and picked up somebody and he had a code, they had he was the phone was on the whole time, so they heard the whole conversation. And as soon as the money or whatever came up, they like going. And he's like, he's funny as all get out. So they pull him over and they're like, we know what's going on. No, 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 man, it's my girlfriend. No, and this girl's like, yeah, we've known each other forever. And she's playing it. We know who he is. We know what he does. We know what's going on. He's always got one in, we pick him up. All this is our fourth time picking him up. And she breaks down, cries. Those same episode, one of the female cops goes undercover as a prostitute to try to pick up some dudes
Mhm.
and never got picked up, but she did herself all dirty, kind of like a little haggardy looking, you know what I mean, to go out on the streets. And I'll never forget the closest they had on the camera, at least. Some dude pulled up and she was like, yeah, we how much? And he looks at her and goes, for you, nothing. For
Oh,
her, maybe 25. What do you think? And she was like, nothing.
dang.
Nah, you ain't my kind of girl. And I was like, oh, that's bad. That's rough. That's rough.
Huh. Yeah.
That just reminded me of that. It's
Yeah.
funny as all get out, dude.
I guess if you're doing that, you have a female police officer and you're using her to do that. I mean, you have to like, I don't know how many females you have on the force, but you almost have to find the most attractive one, right?
Oh, no way. Not where they're going.
Well,
No, where they're going, that would be, they'd stick out like a sore thumb if they were attractive.
but if she's like purposely trying to make herself like she has that base attractiveness, but she's making herself dirty and she's,
The women that
makes
they
sense.
arrested on this show,
Yeah.
and if you ever drive around and see the women that are staring at the cars as they drive by and
Sure.
waving and stuff,
Yeah.
it'd have been hard for her to not be that bad. That's what was
Yeah, I guess
about it.
so. Wow. Yeah, that's
It's not like we're in Vegas. We're talking about like middle of the worst part of Price Hill
yeah.
or over by UC or something like that.
Or at the Western Hills Plaza,
Or
which
to
leads
Western
which
Hills
leads
Plaza.
me to my next story.
Yes, did you get approached?
I got approached.
You got approached.
I got approached not for that, not for what we were just talking about, but but this is, oh, I don't know, 3 hours ago.
Yes.
I come out of Crumble Cookie, right? Speaking of donuts. No, I mean, I'm just the most overweight person in a regular person's body there could be. Anyway, I come out of Crumble Cookie. All right. You can get a 1 pack, you can get a 4 pack or a whatever, 1,000 pack. I'm only one guy. I only need one cookie. So I get the 4 pack and I'm coming out and I see the guy out of the corner of my eye coming from over off the street corner, like where the bus stop is.
Mhm.
There's a lot in front of the Kroger, right across from the Western Hills Plaza. It's you see a lot of
Only the best people watching in the world right there.
yeah,
There's
yeah, yeah.
usually someone right in front on that bus stop right in front of there, in between there, that is having a full conversation in the bus stop thing by themselves.
Yes, yes. I saw a young guy screaming and cussing at this very old lady sitting there one time when I was driving by or sitting at the light, like he was gonna kill her. It didn't look like they were together. I don't know what happened there. Anyway, so I'm sure she's no longer with us, but um, anyway, I see the guy coming down the little hill and I can hear him.
Hey, hey.
Hey, sir, sir. And he said it 2 or 3 times, and I pretended to not hear him the first couple times. And finally, he's like getting closer, and he says it, and I'm like, I obviously can hear him now.
Mm-hmm.
So I look over, and I mean, he's in a bad place. You can tell. And so he's like, "Hey, can you help me out with bus fare?" And he goes, "I just walked. It was 31 or 32 miles walked." Um,
Oh, did he tell you where it was from? I'd have asked.
kind
Yes.
of, yes.
Okay, where from?
Because he goes,
Where's that 32 miles?
eventually he goes, man, you got please help me. He's like, if you ever come to Columbus, I will help you out.
That is so much farther than 30 to
Yeah.
31 miles.
Yeah. So he walked, I don't know if he walked from Columbus, but yes, it was
Okay.
31, 32 miles, whatever. He's 91 years old, he says. Says
Whoa.
he's 91.
91.
The old saying, so and so don't crack.
Yep.
Well, he was
Yep.
that. So maybe he was 91. He only looked like he was maybe,
60.
70, something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
um anyway, and so it was, I mean, I spoke with this guy for less than 30 seconds. He fake cried twice. He told me about that he has cancer and showed me his port, the little port they
Yeah.
put in your skin, showed me that 3 times. Um and then he told me he walked 31 miles 2 or 3 times. Kept telling me I'll pay you back.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I
That's great.
so as he's talking
As
to me, a bus comes up to the bus stop where he just came from. See, that's the 11th bus since I've been sitting here. I can't get I need to get on the bus. I can't get on the bus. I don't He said, I've asked 50 people, and they all said, and he kept saying, there's an ATM right there across the street.
Oh, yeah. That's the way there's an you ain't got any cash. There's an
Yeah.
ATM right there.
That's what he said. Everybody says they got the card. He said, there's an ATM right there. All you gotta do is go right there and get. Kept saying that, and because I did, I was like, man, I don't have any cash.
Mhm.
I don't have any change or anything. But he's like, there's the ATM.
Hey,
I couldn't
careful,
even see what he was
careful
talking
what you're careful what you say here, bud. I know all of them. I'll
about.
put that one.
He was ready for it,
Yeah.
and so yes, and he told me the sob stories literally as he started crying twice, which lasted both cries. Both cries lasted 2 seconds, and then he went right back to regular.
Right back into bagging.
So, he's like, I'm not asking for $400 here. All I need to do is get on the bus, man. And I'm like, and he's like, right there, and he keeps telling me all these things
Yeah.
over and over, and I'm like, and I'm just like, I don't, I he's like telling me all these people. He said all these people told me they would go to the ATM and grab some money and bring it back to me. And he said they just disappear and they don't come back. And that's one of the times he started crying again. And I'm like,
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go to the ATM. I'll bring it back to you.
so here's what happened.
All right.
I did say that,
Did you?
except
You went and got him.
I went into Kroger.
Okay.
Yeah, and then realized actually I do have cash on me. And I actually got a bottle of water.
First thing I would have done.
One
First
of the
thing I
cans
would
of
have done
water.
was get on to the I'd get onto the interweb.
Should have told him you can get an Uber for $10.
Exactly. I'd have got on the interweb. All right. I would have looked up how much it costs to get on a bus.
Mhm.
And I'd have gave him exactly how much it cost to get on a bus.
Yeah, which is what, $1 probably or something.
I don't know what it is now. I'm sure inflation, it's probably $37, but yeah. No, I feel like it's like $1 or $3 or $2 or something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would.
I feel like I should know that because so many people have asked me for
Yeah.
money to get
I
on the
would. That's the
bus.
first thing I do. How much is it to get on the bus?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like $25. No,
Yeah.
man, I ain't having.
Yeah.
I had baggers like talking about that. I had a guy in Columbus one night.
Oh, he might know that my guy.
It might have been
They're
him.
both from Columbus.
It might have been him.
It might have been
Before he started his
walking.
journey. Oh, geez. I went to a minor league baseball game. And I was staying downtown. And it was like a 2 mile. It was like 2 miles.
Go Clippers.
Yes. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna walk. I'm gonna walk.
Nice.
No big deal. There's a nice night. I'm gonna walk there. I'm gonna walk back. This would be a nice little, 25-minute walk, maybe something like that.
Okay.
So, uh, game gets over. I'm walking back. Guy saying it's dark, and he's like, same thing. Got any money? I was like, man, sorry, bro, I ain't got no cash. And I just keep walking. That's the same thing I said to everybody. Nah, sorry, man, I ain't got no cash on me, man. No cash. Just keep on walking. He's like, hey, there's an ATM inside this building. It's right there. Come on, man, I'll go with you. And I was like, I looked at him and I said, you think that I'm going to have some random guy who wants money from me to come with me to an ATM? I said, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Did you really?
Yeah. I was like, why would I walk into getting robbed? Is that this that's the you have I want you to hear what you're saying to me. So I said, why would I walk into trying to get robbed? Why would I do that? No, man, I just need a couple bucks, dude. So if you need a couple bucks, I can't get a couple dollars out of an ATM. And I'm not giving you 20.
Yeah.
Right. So no, I'm good. And I turn around and walk away. He screamed and cussed me out. He never moved his muscle from where he was. Because there for a minute I was a little nervous. There's plenty of people around though. And he cussed me out. This dude asked me for money because he didn't have anything. And then is mad at me, was cussing me out, screaming and yelling, cussing me out as I walked down the street.
I'll tell you, I can't imagine what goes through your mind and what kind of emotion and
Sure.
stress and awful if you're in that situation
Yeah.
where you're on the street. But if you want money from someone, insisting, demanding that they go to the ATM,
don't do that. You know what I mean? Look, if that's how you're going to try to make money is by asking people when they walk by, then that's a crapshoot, bro. You're going to find somebody to give you a buck here or there.
And
but there's going to be more no's than yeses. Don't get mad. You're going to have good days and bad days. I have good days and bad days at work, bud. If this is your job, you're going to have good days and bad days, homie. You know what I mean? That's so, like beggars. I have such a problem with making eye contact with them and them wanting to talk. And then I'm good.
Same.
But I also have no problem saying, I'm always nice first. Nah, man, sorry, boy. Okay. Got nothing. Yeah, nope, we're good. And then turn around and ignore them until they can't stop. And then it's like, bro, you got to go. I got no problem telling somebody that's too much. It's too much. Don't do that. So dumb. Dayton. I had a guy in Dayton. In Dayton, they have panhandler IDs. He had this on a lanyard, and it was he goes, I have a permit. I have a permit to add to ask. You got $1, man? Can I borrow $1? And I was like, and I didn't say this to this guy, but I thought this. You took the time to go to some federal building somewhere or state building and get a panhandler's license, but you couldn't go find somewhere that says hiring, now hiring. What is that?
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, it's a lot easier to do that.
I didn't believe it at first. I was in Dayton working and I didn't believe it. And I was talking to it was an 84 lumber out there. And I was like, this dude came up to me, said he had a panhandler's license. They're like, yeah, that's a real thing here. Yeah, they've got a license, so they can't get, because I guess you can get, the cops can, get on you for if they see you begging for money.
You could have taken him to 84 lumber. He could have got a job there.
Mm-hmm.
He can be a yard dog out there picking.
Oh yeah,
whatever. I don't know how.
Picking sticks, baby. Picking sticks. Let's go.
There you go. Yeah. So anyway, I've had some couple of run-ins with some folks in need lately.
Yeah, nice.
And I don't know how to handle that because I don't.
Dude, you got in way too long of a conversation with that dude.
It's so hard.
I am
for me
so much better now. I used to hate that, and I'd have a conversation. I have no problem just walking and just continuing to walk and just saying, "Nah, I'm good."
I can do that sometimes, and
I do make eye contact, and I always at first, hey man, nah, sorry man, no, sorry, got nothing for you. But I'm like, that's it. If you can't take that and you want to come back, no, you're getting ignored. I'm walking away. I might tell you that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
The Red Stadium, at that At the banks, there's a guy there. It's always got a sign. He's like, I just want a beer. And it says, I just want a beer. He walks up, hey man, you got any cash? And I was like, no, man, I got no cash. He's like, come on, man, I just want a beer. Look, sign says I just want a beer. I'm like, good. That's all right. I got nothing to give to you, bud.
I was
Good
gonna,
luck.
yeah, I was gonna say that earlier. First of all, if you're gonna do that, if that's your job,
Mhm.
you've got to be different than the rest of them.
And that first guy downtown, I
That's
remember that
exactly
first
what I
guy
was gonna say.
outside of the Red Stadium said, I'm not gonna lie, I just want a beer.
And everybody loved it, and he probably made a killing.
Yes.
And then after that, everybody down there had
Yep.
the same sign.
Yep, because homeless Harry went back under the street, went back under the viaduct into his tent
Mhm.
and told all his buddies, "Y'all, it worked."
Yeah.
And they all went out and found some Sharpies on the ground. And I don't know how do they always I don't know where they come up with the Sharpies at. Sharpies are not cheap.
No, I imagine they are found or maybe maybe borrowed from a store,
Mhm.
maybe.
Probably
Probably
borrowed from the store.
from a store,
Probably
just
borrowed.
not to be returned.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but like be a little clever. You got to be clever like that,
Yep.
and you can't just copy the clever guy's sign.
No, you got to have something good.
Yeah,
Here,
if you want to
here's the
throw him
other
a
thing
couple
too.
of quarters to write something for you,
The other thing is if you like if you're at the banks and you got a big old long sign that's got your whole story on it, okay, at the banks. If you're on a corner of a busy street
no chance.
and you've got a paragraph written on a piece of cardboard, I have no idea what's going on. I don't know. Yeah, there's so many veterans that are hungry and can't find, can't, da 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 da, lost my family, lost this, lost that. I When you write a whole paragraph, I can't read that.
No, no. I I don't read I don't read paragraphs or stories of things that I'm interested in
Yeah, exactly.
on the phone, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
I mostly do headlines
Yes.
for now, you know.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm sorry for your, tough times here, but gosh, I just don't have the time really to not that
Invest into it.
not even that I don't have the time. I don't wanna
Yeah.
I don't wanna read the whole thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes the mood's gonna strike me where I might throw you a dollar,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
but
I definitely have some times like that.
mostly it's
Yeah.
not, you
Yeah,
know.
absolutely. Absolutely.
And I still do, even as hard as I like, I can't just ignore a person mostly. I have plenty of times, but if it's a situation like that where I'm the only person walking in the parking lot, he's coming right here,
Ugh.
and he keeps he keeps calling out to me.
Mhm.
I'm like, I don't know. I maybe it's just like, well, this is a human being trying to say something to me. I can't,
Mhm.
like, I just don't feel right, not even acknowledging it. But then I don't know. It's but like a person like that, you after the Reds game, you and 40,000 people are walking down the street to go to your car.
Mhm.
That's pretty easy.
Yep.
Even if you like look over and you make eye contact, hey man, you got any change?
Mhm.
Nah, sorry man, because
Mhm.
everybody's still walking, right?
Yep.
But yeah, there's certain situations, I don't know. Once in a while I'll throw you something, but mostly not.
The
Sorry.
parking in a parking lot and somebody walking to your car before you can get out, that's the worst.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
Right, man, get away from the car. Back up to
Yeah.
back up. Back up.
Yeah.
Anyway, nice.
So yeah, I was afraid that I was gonna like just use up all the time on this thing. Those weren't the biggest story of my week.
Oh, let's go. All right.
I told you I got too many.
All
I'm
right.
even dropping one. I'm not even gonna say this other one. So the big one.
Yeah.
We've talked about donating blood before. Probably the last
Yeah.
time I
Yeah.
did, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe year and a half
Yeah, I
ago.
remember that. It was the place that had it was a different place than normal, wasn't it?
It was the first time I had been. It was Hawksworth
Oh, it was
on
Hawksworth. It
Glenway.
was just the first time you had done it.
I had done it, yeah. The first or second time in my life I had done it. If maybe I did it in high school or somewhere near there or something, but it's been years and years. So I did it, whatever it was, a year and a half ago or something. And then they call me and leave messages all the time to
Mhm.
donate. I keep seeing these things about they're like in some kind of crisis, like they need blood like really bad now. And so finally I'm like, okay, maybe I should do this. So I call, schedule an appointment. The lady on the phone's like, "Oh, you got a blood type that we really need to, like, you got a like a
Oh yeah,
an
you got
important
that
blood type."
one that hits everybody up. I got the one that everybody can have.
Is that right? Is
Yeah,
it
it like if I don't know what it
it
is, but
might be
if
what
you're
might be.
something positive, you can have my blood.
I think it's O maybe, but also like I want to say mine's like AB positive or something,
Yeah,
and that's like another one that's like it's more universal.
yeah.
Um, Maybe not quite as much as O or something. But anyway, so she mentioned that. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's great.
Hmm.
So I go and uh everything's cool. I get in there, finally get back to the chair, and I can see this lady next to me in this other chair is she's having a tough time. She's like, oh, oh man. Like, she's like,
Yeah.
okay. And they're putting like cold towels on her and stuff. And they're like,
Oh yeah.
and she's like,
Oh yeah.
she's out loud saying, okay, I can do this. I can
Oh
do
boy.
this. I can do
Is the
this.
needle already in?
It's already in.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, poor gal. So anyway, they plug me up. And so I'm the older I get, the harder time I'm having with blood and needles and that kind of thing.
Really?
Yeah,
I feel like I feel the exact opposite. The
really.
older I get, I feel like it doesn't bother me at all.
So I used to be fine, I feel
Yeah.
like. Lately, anytime I've gotten blood drawn at the doctor or the last time I think I even did look down a couple of times.
Yeah.
This time I'm like, you know what? I feel pretty sure that I need to not look.
Oh
And
yeah.
that's all I need to do though. Like
Yeah.
as long as I don't look, fine. I should be fine, right? The closest I ever came to passing out in my life was when I for sure I told that story. Tia had surgery a few years ago. I was in there with her when they were like prepping her and stuff,
Yeah.
and they were looking for
A
you can
vein.
kind of
Yeah, I
see
can
my
see where your
bruise
little
there.
bruise was.
Um, and yes, and she doesn't have veins. So and there was like a newer person doing it. So
Oh,
yeah, so
digging.
they stuck her so many times, and then I think it was like that. I saw that, and then noticed like when they either just barely got some or had to redo it or whatever, and
Uh,
I looked and I saw it start coming through, and I'm like, for whatever reason, I got like really hot and
yes.
lightheaded. I'm like,
Yes.
oh man, I don't feel
Uh-oh.
good. And
Uh-oh.
and so
Uh-oh.
like
Uh-oh.
some
Uh-oh.
another nurse, like the nurse
They
that was in
noticed
there
what was going on.
was like, hey, come here to this other nurse, and they
Yeah.
like sat me down in the chair, took my coat off, and we're like, yeah, they gave me some kind of whatever it was. And so I was like, ooh, that was a little scary. So anyway, I go in, I'm getting the blood drawn. So I go in and they've got country music playing over the speaker, right?
Oh, your favorite.
My favorite. So I'm like, whatever, I can deal with any kind of music for a little bit. So I get back there and I'm standing there waiting for them to like clear off this chair for me. And the one guy goes to the other girl working there. He's like, I can't do this country music anymore, man. I gotta. So he goes in the other room and
Are you
changes the
serious?
station. Yeah, changes the station. And the first like three songs that played were awesome. I was like, oh
Let's
yeah,
go.
great. And so anyway, so that was going well. And then the guy that had me, he starts like jamming and he's like
Mm-hmm.
singing the songs and everything. And I'm like, all right, this is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
And so everything's fine. So then that guy that started me, that got the whole thing going and everything, he's like taking his break or whatever. So he's like, all right, well, he's like, when you're finished up here, one of these girls will get you finished up. Okay, fine. So he leaves, goes off into the other room or something. So the girl comes around and she's like checking on me and stuff. Good? Yeah, I'm good. And so I think it's getting close to the end. And I think it was as they were finishing me up, taking it out, wrapping me up, just then I start getting a little lightheaded. I'm like, oh, okay, this is kind of weird. All right. Then a little more lightheaded, then a little bit more lightheaded. So much
Uh-oh.
so that I'm like, and I like make like a noise to get somebody's attention, and I'm like, and she turns around and right away can tell something. I'm like, I'm pretty lightheaded, and I'm still
Yeah.
laying in the chair, and she's like, oh, okay, and she
Mm-hmm.
can like, I don't know what I looked like, but I it seemed like she could really
Pale as a
tell.
ghost, probably.
Yep, and So I'm getting more and more. So I'm like I'm starting to feel like I'm not in the world now.
Yep.
Like something's happening here. And I never felt like I completely lost consciousness, but two people said, "Well, you took a little nap on us." Because they start asking me questions,
Yep. Where
where
you at?
are you? What day is it? And I'm answering the questions, but I'm still like kind of
Yeah,
coming back or whatever. So I passed out giving blood apparently.
dude.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I assume it probably happens a decent amount, but
Yeah.
still they were like, "Oh man, yeah, yeah." And there are three or four people around me
Hmm.
at one point. And so they put part of what is bringing me back, he opens this like
Smelling
ammonia
salt.
pack.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Here, smell this." And I smell it immediately. I'm like, "Oh boy." And he's like, "One more time." And I like I think I leaned into it a little bit and I'm like, "Oh," and I like withdrew right away. It's like, "Oh my," and it burned my nose. That's all I could smell for the
Yes.
next like 2 hours. So that, and then they put like they have in the refrigerator or whatever, these cold pack, they
Yeah.
put them on my neck and my
Got you
head and
going
everything.
back.
And yeah. And guy's asking me all these questions and he kind of yelled at me. He's like, "What'd you have to eat today?" Because the big
Uh-huh.
thing you fill out is
Yep.
it tells you to eat a meal beforehand and
Yep.
drink 16 ounces of water or something like that. And I didn't manage my day well enough, so I ate a little bit beforehand, but not
Not
a ton.
enough. Yeah.
And I drank plenty of water and everything. But anyway, so he's like, "Oh no," he's like, "That's all you had. You're supposed to have, supposed to eat a whole meal." Like, sorry, man, it's 12 o'clock. It's,
Yeah.
I only been awake for 4 hours,
Yeah.
3 hours or whatever. So anyway, that happened. I apparently either
Okay.
lost consciousness or almost did or something.
Dude, I know the exact feeling you had.
It's the first time I've ever felt that much like that.
In high school, I gave blood. I've given blood one time in my life, like full blood, like where they take the whole thing one time. And I was totally fine the entire time
Oh,
until they pulled it out and started doing the little caps. They do at the end of it, they did like four little tiny vials,
oh, okay.
And when they pulled that out and they stopped it, that's the exact same at the very end. I got flush, sweating like crazy. Nurse goes, "He needs a bucket." And they brought a bucket over.
Mhm.
Like, I don't remember if I actually threw up or not, but like that feeling where you're not in the world, I remember that.
Oh,
Like everything just kind of like I can almost, if I could figure out what movie or show, but like when people are coming out of whatever they're coming out of passing out or whatever in a movie,
mhm.
and it's blurry and like it's black around and it like swells and goes away and things are almost like moving and blurry. That's exactly how I felt
Yeah.
that day. And the best part was I got to stay. I had the very first lunch of the day. I got to stay at lunch for all three lunch periods.
Now I remember
Yeah,
you telling
yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. So here's the other thing. Part of what they're doing to try to help me, become a regular human again is so there's a bunch of snacks on this. They got a
Yeah.
little couple
Oh yeah.
tables over there
Orange
and
juice,
you
cookies.
hang out for
Yep.
a few minutes after you get any snacks you want, go
Hmm.
for it. So they've got three different kinds of cookies over there. That's what I'm going to pick.
Absolutely.
Um, so I didn't have that choice. They brought over some snacks and an apple juice. Do not like apple juice at all. They brought over peanut butter
But they
crackers
probably
and baked potato chips. The baked lays. I'm like, these are the worst, driest.
come
This
on.
is the last thing I
Are
would
you
choose ever.
serious?
That's what yeah, and some apple juice. And so
Oh, you got to bring over a bag of Doritos, orange juice, the apple juice. I don't mind the juice, whatever juice.
it
And you
ended
got
up
to
not
have a
being
chocolate
bad.
chip cookie. I mean, you got to have those. Got to be the three things that are brought.
Uh-huh.
You have to,
Yep.
especially the guy just passed out. Don't bring him the bottom of the barrel. Don't
Yeah.
bring him the biggest stack of stuff that's left.
Yeah, yeah. That's right. Yeah. They
Get
had like
into the
opportunity
secret.
to get rid of
Yeah.
these baked chips.
Get into the secret stash in the back that you don't done ran out of twice by noon.
Yep. Yep. Anyway, so that's what I had. I had some crackers and some chips and and an apple juice. And I laid there in the chair until I finished that stuff. And they're like, okay, they kept asking me. That was one of the things they were asking me as I'm coming back. They're like, how's your stomach? Does your stomach feel okay?
Mhm.
Stomach was totally fine. It was just my brain didn't have blood in it, I guess. They
Mhm.
took it all.
Yeah.
And so that was it.
When
And
was that?
Saturday.
Did you try to go? To the gym afterwards?
I went to the gym before.
Okay.
It's a little tiny room to like prep you, and they
Mhm.
take the little thing out of your
Or
thing. It
whatever.
checks your iron and like around the house. He's like, "Oh, you're not supposed to do that." He's like kind of messing with
Yeah.
me. He's like, "You're supposed to take it easy the rest of the day after you get blood or something." Like, okay, well, I guess I'm laying on the couch.
Sounds like you just caught me a free pass, bud.
Yeah. So then I go do that, and I die for a few minutes, and then or for a few seconds, and come back, and they're like, okay, take take it easy for a couple days. Like
Mhm.
you don't exert yourself. I'm like, hey, no problem.
Mhm.
So I went home and watched TV all day and all night and all the next day and opened baseball cards.
Heck
I
yeah.
mean, that's all I
Good for
did.
you. So you never got out of breath.
No, no.
That
Just
one.
when I got excited about a Tony Gwynn
Yeah,
or something.
exactly. The one time that I gave blood, there after all that went down, they're like, no lifting weights, no working out,
You
no.
got out of running that day, I'll bet.
So this was senior year. We must have been done running, like that must have been past
Off
my
season.
yeah, because that's fall, and I feel like this was at the end of senior year because I had to be 18. So
Oh.
to do it, I feel like it was during football season, so it was I don't know, maybe I'm not sure now that I think about it. Anyway, uh I probably did get out of running, which is probably another reason I probably did it. But I was like, I don't lift weights, so I don't have to worry about that. So we go over to my buddy's house and we're playing football in the front yard. I couldn't run 10 yards. I couldn't breathe. I was so out of breath. I'm like, what is going on? I'm 18. I'm in my highest physical peak self. And I'm like, this is insane. Something's wrong. I'm dying. They're like, did you do the blood drive today? And I was like, yeah, I almost threw up all over the place. And I
You
started
went and
telling them
played
all that stuff.
football after.
And they're you're not supposed to do anything. You have no blood. You have no oxygen being carried to anything in your body. There's nothing to carry oxygen around inside of you. And I was like, what? I breathe that in, right? They're like, no. The oxygen flows through your blood. You don't have any blood. The blood's not getting to your muscles, not getting to your lungs. You can't do anything. So I thought they just didn't want me to lift weights. I was like, whatever. I ain't lifting weights anyway.
Yeah.
No, you can't do it. Dude. And then I figured out why. Because you about die. I was so out of breath. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I was glad that I didn't have like anything scheduled like really important. I
Yeah.
ended up, we went to breakfast for my brother's birthday and all
Yep.
that kind of stuff. But that was it. That was pretty much all I did all
nice.
weekend.
Good for you, man.
I
Sounds like a
died
good weekend. Died,
and then came
you
back and then I
watched
opened some
some
cards.
baseball cards.
Yeah, watched some movies and stuff. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, I like it. That's good, man.
Anyway, so I took up, an hour and a half. I took up all of our time.
Perfect. I
But,
was something great. You had a crazy week.
That was a crazy week.
You had a crazy week.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
I don't know if any of it was fun really, but it was fun. It's fun to talk about. Every single time those things happen, I'm like, cannot wait for Wednesday.
Yes,
I
exactly.
can't wait to tell Chris about this.
Yes. Oh, I love it. That's so good. Oh my gosh.
So speaking of that, did you have anything? Did you have anything? You had to
Nah,
have had something.
No, man.
Nothing.
Pretty lame. Pretty lame weekend, I feel like. I don't even remember what we did Saturday. Sunday was volleyball. 0-3 in volleyball. Lost all 3 games. Yeah. Very first game. Okay. I literally just look over at the other team and they're talking like, you guys done this before? And I was like, this is the first time I've played volleyball in my life. And I'm joking with them, I'm having as much fun. I said that everybody on my team laughed when I said it. and the other team was laughing. So they all heard me. Like the second or third point of the game, we go down like 4-0 like that.
Sure.
And it was like the second or third one, and I got twisted and I hit it sideways, and it went straight sideways. And old boy looks at me and he goes, "You're supposed to go like this and try to hit it, try to get it to go straight. You got turned around on that one." I was like, "I got turned around on that one?" I said, "You got me. I didn't know that. I thought I did hit that straight." "Yeah, I know, you ding dong. I saw the ball go 100 miles to the left. I know what I did."
So 3 losses. You must have gotten a lot of coaching this weekend.
So not too bad. It
Okay.
really wasn't bad. That after that, and I kind of had a couple little quick little jerk back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bud. No. Like we ain't doing this all day.
So coach is getting the picture, maybe?
Yeah,
He's
I hope.
down?
I don't know. I hope so. I
Okay.
hope so.
All right.
But I purposely was so over the top of trying to have fun in between points. Like I was trying, like, because I ran like there's one person on our team. She is in it. Like she don't want to lose. She don't like losing.
Sure.
She's there to win. It's the only reason she's there. She doesn't plan on ever losing. There's no reason to lose. If you lose, you're a loser and the world's over. And she's older than I am. Well, she smokes, so she may not be, but she looks like she is. But
She might be 91.
yeah, who knows? But she's not black. So
Okay,
she
so
will crack.
so she
You
yeah,
said they like like it was like you would have been saying the wrong thing by saying that this dude was a black guy. I don't even know. It's anyway.
I mean, he looked really good for 91. Now
Well,
he had no teeth
he looked really good for 91.
and he was real beat up, but pretty good for 91.
So I ran into her on accident. I like dove over to try to get a ball and I like hit her. And the ball goes flying. She just turns around. I was like, "I'm so sorry. I love you. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. You all right?" And I'm like, being silly, overly, never even looked at me. She has to go to the other court to get the ball. I turned around and looked at the rest of the team. I was like, "Oh, she's pissed." One dude goes, "Oh, yeah, you better get out of the way." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, come back over." I think I apologized to her like 17 times. And
For that
fine,
one
for
incident.
that one incident, I felt so bad because she was highly pissed off. One guy goes, "Oh, did he hit you in the shoulder?" And she goes, like this area. And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I just like totally like I get it. I ran into it, but it's very dramatic of this entire side of my entire body, this area. And I'm like, "Okay, all right, I got you. I feel you. I know what I got you." So I did what I felt. I felt like there were some people they don't like losing. I don't like losing either.
Yeah.
Everybody gave it their all during it while the ball was in the air. And when the ball hit the sand, I was the loudest idiot trying to just loosen people up because it gets tense when you're not winning.
Yeah.
So we lost by a lot, then we lost by a little bit, and then we just barely lost
Okay.
in the 3 games. And I kept going, "We're doing so much better, guys. This is
Yeah.
way better." Like, it's okay if we're playing a team that's better than us because none of us outside of 2 people play volleyball ever. So it's okay if we're losing. Like, take a deep breath. We're doing better. They obviously know what they're doing. They had a guy that was serving the ball and putting spin on it to make it be like a curveball. It was going over this middle person and it came and it bounced right next to my foot. And I went, "Huh, I guess I should have got that." And I was laughing because he hit this like curveball and he could have beat the crap out of us by himself. He only really hit hard one time. He had a lot of opportunities that he could have done crazy things, but he definitely toned it back. So I had no problem with him. But he was having fun, putting a little spin on his serve. Nothing hard, wasn't like smoking it at you, but it moved. So he did it a second time, and I went down to dive at it, and I missed it. And I said, all right, old boy, let's go. I'm gonna get you a bat and a helmet. See if you can hit my curveball. Get on my set. It's right over here." Messing around with him, he started laughing. So just trying to have some fun, man. Just try to have some fun. So we have a double header this Sunday.
Hey.
7 and 8. It's late because it's Sunday nights and kids have school now. So 7 and 8. This is it. The end of the season.
Last game, huh?
It,
Last
man.
week.
Nothing left after this. However, the little text group had a little thing in there. It said, What did it say? Uh, who's in for next session? I don't know.
Are you gonna do the Joey Votto? You should get on Instagram and officially retire from volleyball after that game.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a video.
You should do that.
I'm gonna write a paper out before this Sunday. And I'm gonna have them make a video as soon as the last point comes up. I'm gonna run over to my phone and I'm gonna hit record while we're shaking hands. I might even keep it in my pocket. Well, everyone, this is it. After 6 games of volleyball, I officially retire. I'm done. Turns out I'm just not that good.
It's been an incredible journey.
Yeah.
And I'd like to thank all the people along the way who, helped me out. And yeah.
Yeah.
Should do that.
Love it. So funny. Anyway, I'm just gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you, I feel like I've held my own. I feel like I held my own on the old volleyball court. I'm not gonna act like I was great, but I didn't suck.
Yeah.
There's a couple times I sucked, like a couple things that happened that sucked. But every single person on our team
When you hit it sideways.
that was one that sucked.
Mhm.
But there was no one on our team that did not have many, many moments of the exact same thing.
Yeah.
We all sucked. We all terrible shots. But I feel like, man, I had some like diving, one-handed, like pop-ups to save things.
Those
I'm
are
like,
so
oh, look out. Call me libero.
Who?
The libero. You know the libero.
Libero. Is that a volleyball player?
Yeah. Cousin Emily was a libero at Anderson. They wear a different colored jersey.
Oh,
They're not allowed going up to the front to spike it. They're usually a little person, and like their job is to dig. In the
What's the English word for it? What's the regular word for it? It's called something
libero?
else. No, I know.
That's what they call it in every volleyball thing I've ever seen on anything. I've never heard it called anything else.
I've never heard of that word before.
Well, this is what we can do then.
those-
We can just say, is there another name for libero in volleyball?
Yeah. The Chrysler Libero was the. Oh,
There you go. Is there another name for libero in volleyball? In volleyball, a libero is also known as a defensive specialist or ball control specialist. Maybe that's what you confused it as.
It's not.
It's definitely
I thought
not.
it was one specific word.
That is the libero.
for
That's
that, like
they're
like a dig,
Yeah.
like a dig.
It was
like
introduced in 1998 and is considered to be one of the most challenging positions in the game.
well, the position couldn't have been introduced in '98. Just the word for it. Yes. And
I-
that's got to be somebody's name who was incredible at it or something.
It's in lowercase.
Really?
Libero in lowercase, yeah.
I mean, that's got to be rooted in another language, I feel like.
It just defensive specialist, yeah.
Huh. How could I have never heard that before?
They can only play in the back row. Yeah, so basically when the people go and spike it as hard as they can, they got to be quick as lightning and get the little one-handed digs out.
I can't stand the back row. It's because you got to deal with the serves, and there's that in between all the time.
Oh, the in between.
Oh,
the in between.
I just want to be at the net.
So
I'm not tall enough to be at the net. I
Wh-
want to be at the net, so I don't have to deal with it.
When I'm at the front, this girl's always behind me. She always seems to be behind me when we're in the middle. And I feel like I should be involved in getting a serve hit to me. So I scoot back a little bit. I'm ready. And that ball get to like where it could just be just above my head. And I'm like, well, fuck that. She probably, pardon my language. Oh, shoot. She's probably got that. And then it lands. And I look back. I'm like, oh, am I too far back? She's like, yeah, well, just go ahead and play at the net. Play at the net. I'm like, well, nobody's gonna serve it at the net. I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
So yeah, in the middle, I'll stay up. But if I'm in the back, I play up. If I'm in the middle. So I'm like, I'm starting to figure out, some things.
But if you play up too much, they can get a serve where that's that in between.
Hey, that's on you behind me, man. That's on you. You gotta go get that. You gotta dive and get that because you have to know that I'm not playing.
No, I'm saying if
I'm
you're in that back row and you play up a little bit,
Oh, the ball's behind you.
and there's that, then you're playing the serve and the ball's coming and
At your
you're like, yes.
And then you got to do the little this thing.
Yeah.
I
Sometimes you're like,
I got one of those. and I was going to the side and it like ate me up real quick.
Uh-huh.
And I was to the side and it got stuck in between my elbows. Like I caught it and I was like, oh, like that. I was like, is that good?
Good catch. How many points
Yeah.
do I get for a catch?
We
Does that
had,
count?
yes, we had two serves that were terrible serves, but they were coming right at my head. Right. And that's probably not good because I'm not taller than the net. So if we're serving it and it's coming at my head, probably not good. And I would tap them over and they wouldn't touch it. And I'd be like, 2 points, 2 points on that serve, right? And every, the first, the little kid referees are like,
Little
what? Like they look at me like I got 5 heads. And I'm like, I'm just playing. If you haven't figured that out by now, anything that comes out of my mouth is a joke. Oh, oh my gosh. Did I tell the story of the kid on the one team?
I don't know.
Uh, I want to say the second game I played down there, we're down there, and there's a couple young kids, LaSalle t-shirts on.
Boo.
Yeah. And they couldn't have been older than 22.
Okay.
They could have been as young as 16. So, and one of them is super tall. The other one is a super athlete. And so
There's
we're
a chance I might know these guys, by the way.
no,
No.
no. So I mean, sure, there's a chance, I guess.
So the guy who's I know LaSalle's head volleyball coach and one of his assistants,
Okay.
and one of his assistants is tall, and the head coach is pretty athletic.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's not,
and they're like in their early 20s.
it's not these two.
Okay.
I promise.
Gotcha.
So we're playing and the one kid's hit a couple and like trying to spike them and like, and they kept saying like, just go up and just jump as high as you can. Just put your hands up. If you hit it, you hit it. And I was like, all right, here we go. So the big tall kid, one goes to him and he's right in the middle. And I just run over and go, "Wah!" Like that total bush league, like yelling as he's about to hit, scared him to death. He still hit it and it scored. I was like, I'm so sorry, dude. That was so bad. I mean, I never should have did that. My bad, brother. And I'm talking to him, like apologizing, like that was dumb. I said, you had the point anyway, so it all worked out. I just don't want this guy to be mad because at that point I'm like, I get it. That was probably
Sure.
not needed. Right. That was just me trying to be funny. Probably went overboard. I've gone overboard trying to be funny multiple times in my life. End up having to apologize for things I've said or done. It happens. Is what it is, So anyway, he just looked frazzled at what happened. And I apologized to him like 3 times throughout this because he just keeps looking back at me the whole game, like the rest of the games. He keeps looking back at me like just like eyes back. I'm like, man, I messed this dude up. That was messed up. So after the game, I'm like, hey man, I'm really sorry. And he just, shook my hand, said good game or whatever, and left. Whatever. Nothing, anything of it. Get down there next week. Hill directly at me in a pretty good high energy. And that's not the way I yelled when I was hitting. I was like, man, I'm so sorry about that. Instantly, I'm talking to him now, and I'm like, I did that to the one kid that's got some kind of issue out here. Like, and that's who I am. That's what I just did. Now I'm even worse than I think I am. Like I already felt bad. That kid's whole family probably thought I was the biggest jerk in the world to do it to him. So now I get it. I see what I have in front of me. He ain't walking away from me. This is my new best friend. We're best friends,
Oh,
but
boy.
within 2 minutes, we're best friends.
Okay.
We've got a handshake. We've got everything. He has come up to me every single week after, giving me a hug.
Oh.
Can't wait to see you, man. Good luck. Good luck. I said, you playing? Nope, not this week. He never has never been out there
just to give you a hug.
just to come up and give me a hug. Gave me like 3 hugs yesterday before we left. We do the handshake, and I kept walking over, and there's there's this one girl, one of the wives of my buddy, And when he first came over that second week and we're talking and he turns around and walks away, I go, I would do that. That would be me. I would do that to the one guy down here that's got a little touch of something. You know what I mean? Got hit by a touch of something. And I'm like, and she's laughing. She's like, only you. Only you. Now you're going to be stuck, not stuck with talk. Now you are going to have this kid in your life forever now, which is totally cool with me because dude's great guy. Jason, I want to say it's Jason, Jeremy, something like that. Anyway, so yeah. So he comes up to me this week and puts his arm around me, like wants to give me a hug, but kind of probably feels a little awkward or whatever. And so I talked to him. He's like, "You haven't been here for 2 weeks. Where you been?" And I was like, I was on vacation, and then I had a baseball tournament, and he's talking to me, and it's just my little buddy. That's my new little buddy down there. And I'm pretty sure the only volleyball game he's played this entire time has been the one against us because they probably didn't have enough people. So he says he comes down there to watch his brother. He's down there to watch his brother play.
Oh,
and I'm like, I need to meet this dude's brother because he was on that court and probably thinks I'm the biggest jerk to ever walk the face of the earth. Now, he's got to see his brother talking to me constantly now.
yeah.
So hopefully they know that it's all good in the hood. But I felt it's just one of those things. It's like, that would be me that ends up running up, doing the most bush league thing you can to a kid that can't, like, that's.
I mean, there's no way you could have known. But I'll tell you what, it sounds like this kid is gonna be one of the presenters, one of the speakers at your retirement ceremony
100%.
or your
We're-
Hall of Fame ceremony.
We're best friends now. Oh yeah. When I retire next week, I'll probably ask Jeremy, Jason, Jehoshaphat, whatever his
to
name is.
speak.
Yeah. I might throw the Insta live over at him. Dude, it's been a great career. And I've spent most of my career with you. I just want you to know how much I appreciate you, my man. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, that's great.
Dude, it was one of
Got
those
yourself a friend out of it.
100%.
You lost a friend
At
and
that
you got
point,
one.
because at that point in time, I was like, I'm trying to, like, when I found out, when I first had that conversation in my head, I'm like, I can't let this kid leave. I need him to know that everything is good. And I did, like, we are going to be friends now because I can't let what the stupid thing I did on the court, like, be what, this kid volleyball life thinks of when I can't do that. I can't, I'm not that guy.
No.
I can apologize to somebody that doesn't have a touch of something and they can see that I'm actually sorry.
Mhm.
Somebody like I don't know if he really believes me or not. So I feel like I have to apologize to him every week for yelling and jumping at him.
It sounds like you did more work to reverse it than you even needed to.
I hope
so
so.
you're probably fine.
I hope so. That's my homie. That's my homie now.
There you go.
Anyway,
Shout out Jason, Jeremy.
I think we need to get into the Mount Rushmore.
I think we do.
Of women's Olympic basketball players.
That's correct. Yes. Yep. I had to do a little research on this. I mean, you can think of 4 great Olympians.
Not easy to find a list of greatest women's Olympic basketball players. They have I found a list of like greatest individual Olympic performances.
Mhm.
I found a list of, each year, but I ended up going and like looking up the women's basketball team. And I couldn't even really do it on Basketball Reference. It was hard to do on Basketball Reference.
Yeah, I tried too.
So went to Wikipedia
Mhm.
and found a bunch of stats. And I found a YouTube video that was pretty good too. Because I would have thought Cheryl Miller would have been obvious.
Mhm.
And not in a lot of the top stuff. I don't know.
I think she
before her
only played
time.
on one team.
Yeah, exactly. So you can't put her in my eyes.
I mean, a lot of people think she's the greatest women's basketball player ever.
Oh, sure.
But
But this
Olympics.
is Olympic.
Mhm.
This is the Olympics here.
Right. Yeah, I found on USA Basketball's website, they actually have it was like a 31-page document it was like basically a program.
Oh, okay.
And it had all the, the lists of all the stats, the career leaders and
Yep.
the individual game leaders and all that kind of stuff. So I did find that, and that helped me a lot. But
All right. So in that case, do you want to get started? Do you want to start us up?
I can do that. Um, Number one, I'm putting Diana Taurasi on there. She's been on the most teams and obviously won the most gold medals because they've never not won a gold medal.
Six six gold medals. She officially took over Miss Sue Bird, who played on every one of the first five. It was funny because
Yes.
I'm watching this video and it's and this guy's going, Diana Taurasi is trying to break Sue Bird's record for five gold medals. And I didn't realize it till I went on the webpage. They played on all the same teams. She had
Yep.
the same amount. She's not trying to break Sue Bird's record. She's
And
trying to break her own record.
Sue Bird just retired, I think, after last year. If she didn't, she would have been on
She'd
this
have been
team
on
too.
this team for sure.
Yeah. So anyway, Diana Taurasi, she is the number two all-time scorer, number three in assists. Yeah, and that's it spanned 20 years. She
That's
was on the
insane.
'04 team and the
Maybe.
now. Yeah.
Who knows?
Now
Maybe we
we're
were
good.
muted the whole time. That would be awesome if we were muted this entire podcast.
I don't. Yeah, we don't usually have to mess with that.
No, maybe just in the reverbs and the rebacks,
Mhm.
comebacks. Anyway, there were a couple times I think that Rogan felt like he was maybe losing them a little bit.
Yeah.
And he did a pretty good job of coming back and getting some good jokes in. I laughed a lot during this. I laughed pretty hard and I laughed a lot during this. There were some awkward parts
Mhm.
for sure. For sure. That even I was like, where this is, where are you going, Joe? I know it. I think my favorite thing about this is Joe Rogan is huge and everyone knows Joe Rogan
Mhm.
as a podcaster. Joe Rogan is a comedian. So when he gets now to come out and go, people were saying Joe Rogan's misleading information on the coronavirus, and he's like, he just woke up. He's like, maybe I did. Did I? I don't know.
Yeah.
And he's like, first off, if you're getting your vaccination information from me
Yeah.
and on my podcast where I'm incredibly high and drunk, and you're taking my advice, you need to think about the way you're living, right?
That's on you.
That's
yeah.
on you. Yeah. So that's what I like that because
Yeah.
he gets a lot of stuff for the stuff he says.
Oh yeah.
And if you ever watch any of them, he is always partaking in something to like he's not trying to be the voice of reason to anyone.
Mm.
He's just talking is all he's doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But I guess you have a responsibility once you get that big to be careful of what you do and say because people are going to listen to you. But the fact that he was able to come out and just be like, you guys are idiots if you take any information that I say and try to use that in your everyday life.
Yeah. Yeah. He talked about he's been canceled a million times or whatever,
Yes.
especially during the pandemic.
Yes.
And obviously it doesn't bother him. It doesn't matter. He still has the biggest podcast.
Yep.
Millions of people listen to it and
Yep.
stuff. So yeah, it
So-
doesn't bother him.
Yeah. But there was some good stuff. The stuff from Fear Factor was good. Like when they got canceled, I love that. He's
Yeah.
like, where did you get this from? Like,
Yeah.
how did this happen? And the guy explains with the cattle prod and what they do. And when he started going, I imagine if all of a sudden you find out that's what you like, you never get back to that ever again. Like, I was like, oh, those are some, he had a bucket. You get a bucket. I was cracking up. Oh, I was laughing so hard. That's stupid stuff. But
Yeah.
anyway, I do laugh at stupid stuff quite often. You got any good stuff to pull out of it?
I don't know. There were some jokes. I think we kind of mentioned this last week at the end. Joe Rogan is I think he even has some good ideas for jokes and even some good jokes. There's something about I don't know if it's people talk sometimes in comedy about like if you're too good looking or if you're ripped or if you're, certain things like you're not going to be you're not going to be as funny. And I don't know you can't even really tell with the shirt he wore and everything, like how muscular he is and stuff, but maybe that's it. I don't know. I don't know what it is. There's something about him or the way he delivers it or something that just doesn't seem as funny to me
Really?
for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we talked about this at this last one he had. There's something like they're good because I laughed at a lot of stuff. Like there's good stuff in there.
Yeah.
But I think maybe he just gets a little over top. Maybe he does something. There's something that's just he's not enough of this and not enough of this, and there's somewhere he's got to get together. I don't know.
I hardly ever think he's funny on his podcast. Almost
Yeah.
never. I mean, even when he has comedians on and stuff. But I don't know. It's obviously he's successful as a comedian. He's been doing it for a really long time, and he's huge. I mean, I don't if he didn't do all the other stuff, I don't know if he'd be as big. But
Yeah.
as a comedian, I mean, but he's got a big name. I don't either, but he's
This is the craziest podcast we've ever had.
we've got
Somebody's in this room. There is a ghost in this room during this podcast. I don't know if it's the ghost of Christmas past
yeah.
or what,
Yeah.
but the computer's talking to us. The computer that's not even on in the background is talking to us. The computer that's on in front of us has turned off 4 times.
Yeah.
Something's going on. Somebody wants us out of this room.
I it I'll tell you what it could be, and I don't know for sure, but I died Saturday.
You did
It could be I came back to life, but it could be like a partial ghost of me, maybe.
either partial of you or maybe somebody you met in that 8 seconds.
The gentleman that I gave $5 and a bottle of water to tonight
Could have died.
passed since then.
He could have died.
He's 91 and he has cancer. So I mean, there's a good chance, but and he's never owned a toothbrush, but
He doesn't need one.
you know what? There were like 4 in there,
Okay.
and they were rotten.
Well, at that point in time, you don't need it. What are you going to bring those
Yeah.
back to life?
No,
You're just waiting for those to fall out.
no. Yeah, I
He's
mean,
waiting for
eat one apple, those things
I
are gone.
was going to say, somebody just needs to give that man an apple.
Should have got him one in Kroger. Shoot.
Here you go, bud. Take care of the rest of this. Give him applesauce too. Here's for after your first bite of the apple.
Oh my God, that's so good. Okay, you know what? I gave Joe Rogan a 2.8. It
wow.
it was fine. It
Well, it can be
wasn't
different.
terrible or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was it's just a little over
He's-
medium for me, but it's not quite
I think
great.
a big part of what I liked about it is Joe Rogan is as big as they get.
Yeah.
Comedian wise, like known celebrity. He's as big as anyone in the United States.
Yeah.
Like people are dying to get onto his podcast just to be on there so you can
You get the big bump.
Yes. He had an opportunity to go on there and just make it about me, I'm this, I'm great, all the great things happening to me, and he didn't. A lot of self-deprecating stuff.
Yeah.
Totally made fun of himself. I think I gave him a bump because of that. Because going into something like this, I immediately start thinking of some of the comedians we've seen that are like, I did this now, and look at me now, I'm here, and then want to give a speech at the end about what kind of person to be. Like, man, I came for comedy. No offense, but I don't care. You can use your platform for whatever, but that doesn't mean that I have to like this special now, right? Like, you just put a hamper on the special. Whatever you said is what you said. I might have agreed with you, but that's not what I'm here for, right? No, read the room, bud. They're paying to watch you do comedy.
Yes.
And I feel like even though Joe can get a little crazy and get talking about some crazy stuff, he didn't get off and just go into a tangent about aliens or about, that was actually a pretty funny joke too. I laughed really hard at that. If aliens aren't real, when he was talking, if I've spent a lot of time saying that aliens are real, for if that not to be true, we're in trouble. But anyway, he didn't go on to a rant about, politics. He didn't go on to a rant about anything.
He talked about all that stuff.
He talked about it, but it was all just jokes.
Yeah.
They were just jokes, or he tried to make jokes on them, but it wasn't telling you the right way to be.
Yeah. I feel like he did like put little quick jabs of kind of things that he believes in. And if you follow him at all, he has his like 3 or 4 topics, and he talked about those things the entire time, but also little things where you're like, all right, I think I've seen enough of him that I think that's what he really believes. And he kind of like wanted to just get it in there a little bit, but it was kind of like in a subtle way.
100%. I totally, you could definitely see those, but it wasn't a 3-minute dissertation.
And you're right. I totally agree. He did a great job with the self-awareness and talking about,
he knows who he is.
Listening to me.
Yeah, I'm just a drunk high idiot.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
So,
and I don't blame you at all for giving him.
I give him a 3. I was going to give him a 3.6. I really liked it. I thought it was good. I didn't think it was below a 3 worthy. For me, I thought it was. I would tell people to watch it. Below a 3, I don't know that I'm telling people to go watch it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Adam's saying, yeah, exactly. That's why I gave it a 2.6, because I'm not telling 2.8. Sorry, I'm not telling people to go watch it. But no, that's just.
But we're actually pretty close on our scales. because
I
yours
guess
is 1 to 5, and I'm
it's
0 to 5.
0 to 5.
So there we go.
Yeah, that's true.
We're about the middle of our scales.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah, it's fine. Go watch it.
Oh,
Watch
yeah.
it. Watch it. Check it out.
Everybody's
I
gonna
was
watch it
ex-
anyway.
I wasn't like expecting anything tremendous because I just don't think he's like a super. Just compared to a lot of other comedians that I like, he's not as funny. But this was gonna be, he hasn't done a special in a while. He's been cooking these jokes for a while, and
Yep.
he gets up a lot because he's at the Comedy Mothership, and and it's I'm like, all right, this could be something. I'm interested to see what he's gonna talk about here because
Yeah.
you're right. He could have gone a million different ways, and he could have been like, I hang out with this person, this person, this person, and
Mhm.
this person, and I
Yeah.
can do whatever I want.
When I interviewed this guy, when I sat down with this guy, when I did this with this guy, all right, we get it, dude. I get it. I get it. Nah, nah, nah. I thought he did a good job.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah.
So they,
One thing I noticed, and I've heard him say it a little bit more frequently lately, but a lot more in this. For a long time, he never hardly ever mentioned his wife. He's been married for a while,
yeah,
and he talks about her a lot in this.
yeah,
Like on the podcast and stuff, like I feel like he hardly ever talked about her for a long time.
yeah.
And then I've heard it a few times in some recent interviews with him, but he talked about her a lot more than I've ever heard him talk about.
Yeah.
And I'm like, because you don't know, like, he's like, rich and powerful and stuff. So you don't know, like, you always hear things and you're like, are these people like, they have like an open relationship? And
Oh,
it's like
that's always the
all that
thing.
kind of
Oh
stuff.
my God, that's the craziest.
Is he like allowed, or
Nah,
does he just
man.
because he's I'm sure women are throwing themselves at him all the time, but
Sure.
but
I
yeah,
don't think Joe Rogan, you don't know. Just, I mean, you
I have
listen to
no
him
clue.
talk and you don't know anything about him, but just hearing him and all that stuff, I think that dude is happy as a peach as soon as he gets done whatever he's doing, coming home and just being at home.
It seems like he does whatever he wants whenever he wants.
Yep.
So it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
like it seems like he's probably fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
He's,
it was cool to hear. But it was especially cool to hear him talk about her like
yeah,
in like I love my wife's my favorite person in the world. I love her so much.
yeah.
It was nice to hear that because you
You just never know.
yeah,
Yeah.
for a while I'm like
He's
hmm.
yeah, he's different dude. The COVID stuff was good when he said, wouldn't it be would the craziest way for me to die be COVID? Wouldn't that be the
Yeah,
craziest
yeah.
way for me to die after everything I said about COVID? And when I got it, first thing I thought was, oh man, this better not kill me.
Yep. Yeah. Anyway, there we go. We've got our stuff in comedy, Mount Rushmore.
All right, so we need a Mount Rushmore for next week, and we need comedy for next week.
Yes, 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 yes.
All right, so Schmitty, what's your thought process, bub?
I'm gonna go. So we did Chad Daniels last week. We did
Mhm.
Joe Rogan this week. Going back to another new one on Netflix.
Okay. There's a couple of them. There's quite a few that have came out in the past month that we have not got to.
Yes. And this one that we're gonna do next week is Nick Swartzen,
Yes.
and the name of it is something.
Yeah, you can look that up.
His tour. By the way, I have tickets to see him in September. His tour that he's on right now is called Toilet Head, which is perfectly on brand for Nick Swartzen.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So anyway, Nick Swartzen's comedy on Netflix. It's taking me too long to open it up to see the name of it, but anyway, that's what we're gonna do.
This dude is hilarious. This is a guy has probably one of the greatest jobs in Hollywood. He gets to play these really weird characters
Yeah,
and be as flamboyant as he wants to be. And like that's his perfect. That's like you get to make fun of everything you want to make fun of. And yet people are making fun of you while you're doing it. Like it's so good.
yes.
Nick Swartzen's very good. All right. I like that. And then I have to have let's do this.
My apologies. Let me redo this.
We're not doing Nick Swartzen.
No, we are. his special was released on YouTube, not Netflix.
Oh, that's fine.
Make joke from face is what it's
Make
called
joke from face. So it's not toilet head.
on
Oh, that's
YouTube.
the
that's the tour that he's on. Yes.
All right. Make jokes from face.
Make
I
jokes
like
from
that.
face.
That's gonna be good.
Yep.
All right. So have we done we had to have done base stealers, right?
It seems like we would have.
I feel like we've probably done it.
We could do it again, or you could throw a little caveat in there. Base stealers who
Power hitting base stealers.
power hitting base stealers. We could do that.
I mean, Barry Bonds, Alex Rodriguez, Ken Griffey Jr. Nah. Oh.
Yeah.
No,
Ellie
no,
Daly
no.
Cruz.
Ellie and Davis and Morgan and Cunha. Nah, no, nope. That's not what we're doing. I don't feel like I feel like now I'm pulling out, first time they've won by 5 or more runs when being down by 6 or more runs
Yeah,
since
okay.
August 30th, 1988.
Base stealers who hit home runs between August 1st and August 3rd, while being 25 years old and who's only has one grandmother left because the other one died.
I like that one. That's a lot of research, though.
Yeah.
Let's do this in honor of Joey Votto.
Mhm.
Let's go with greatest first baseman since 2000.
Oh, okay.
25 years of first baseman.
First baseman since the year 2000. That'll be good. That'll be fun.
All right. That sounds good.
Yeah.
And then we've got Nick Swartzen, tell jokes from face.
Yeah, make joke from face.
Cannot wait to see how much or how little of this podcast is going to come out.
This might be in 4 parts.
Love
this
it.
might be
Love it. Yeah, we'll figure it out somehow, some way.
Yeah.
Adam will figure it out somehow, some way because he's so good at it.
Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see what it looks like.
Till next week, don't forget to turn your headlights on.